What's up, guys? Jeff here from Grit City Fitness and Performance. Today I want to talk to you about what to do once you set a goal. Now, we have a lot of videos, a lot of content, and I talk a lot about why it's important to set a goal. But once the goal is set, then what do you do, right? Where do you focus? What do you spend your time on? How do you look at the goal? And how do you make the goal what you achieve? Now, first off, most people do a very good job initially. What they'll do is they'll set the goal. Then they focus on the goal, which is initially okay. And I say initially okay because it follows what I call my AIR principle. A stands for attention, I stands for intention, and R stands for repetition. So AIR, A-I-R, attention, intention, and repetition. Why are these important? Because attention is basically giving the attention needed to the specific action, task, or desire. Intention is a constant reminder or repetition of why you want to accomplish X, Y, Z goal. And repetition means the amount of time that you keep that goal in the front of mind, right? Because think about it, when you have something constantly in the front of your mind, you're more likely to take action on it, focus on it, and be diligent about the outcome or the result. So it follows the AIR principle. But the truth is we don't want to focus on the goal. And here's where I'm going to break this down for you. We want to, one, set the goal. We want to set the goal. And that goal is, maybe you say, I want to lose 20 pounds in 8 weeks. So that is the goal. Once we have set the goal and we spent the time and energy and effort and focus on setting the goal, once we have that hard goal, we want to step away from the specific goal and then start to focus on the specific actions that are going to lead us to said goal. So what that means is I'm not going to spend the next 8 weeks focusing on only 20 pounds lost, right? That would be what would normally happen, and that's the vicious cycle. We end up being so ingrained in the thought process of the goal that we lose track of what actually is going to move us to the goal. So when we focus on the goal itself, we do have the AIR around it, the attention, intention, and repetition. The problem is we don't know and do not have the actions that are going to get us there. So if you have ever watched the video like The Secret, or if you've ever vision boarded, what you have successfully done is created the goal, and then you've created the AIR around it, the attention, intention, and repetition. But once we have that, looking at a board, looking at a picture, focusing on the 20 pounds is not going to elicit the result. The reason for this is because when you're looking at the outcome or the goal, you only focus on the goal. The truth is we need to focus on what's going to get us to the goal, not the goal, right? So I like to use the idea of driving because I'm driving right now. It makes a lot of sense. If we were to set a goal to go from downtown Tacoma to downtown Seattle, I have point A and point B. Point B being the goal that I set. Point A is where I start. Now, if I only focus on getting to Seattle, I'm not going to make the smart or best choices on which way to go. I'm also just going to focus on one thing, and that's looking at the sign that says Seattle this way. But then I'm going to probably run the risk of not knowing where in Seattle I'm going or have the exact destination. But I'm also unclear on how I'm going to get there, right? I don't know which roads I need to take to get to said point. So what we need to do is, instead of focusing on the goal once it's set, we want to focus on what we need to do to accomplish said goal. So for instance, we would then say, okay, the goal is to lose 20 pounds in 8 weeks. What do I need to focus on? And that focus then shifts from 20 pounds in 8 weeks, or the deadline that I'm shooting for, to what do I need to do in the course of the next 8 weeks to elicit said response? Or what do I need to do this week to elicit the response that I need? So what we do is we chunk the goal down a bit. And this makes it also easier and more attainable without the overwhelm and stress and frustration that a big block goal happens, right? Imagine this. You have 20 pounds to lose. You've lost 2. You're going to look at that situation and say, man, I'm very unsuccessful because I've only lost 2 pounds out of 20. But in reality, you've lost 10% of your goal. But on top of that, if you say, instead of I have to lose 20 pounds still, you look and say, hey, I have to lose 20 pounds in 8 weeks. That breaks down to about 2.3 pounds per week, right? So let's say we have to lose 2.3 pounds per week. Well, if I've lost 2 pounds, I can realistically look and say, oh man, I'm on track because I've hit 2 of my 2.3 pounds that I needed to lose this week. So we go micro instead of macro. We look small to get clear. right? So then what we would do is we'd set a micro goal. The micro goal would be like, okay, yeah, we want to lose 20 pounds in 8 weeks. So how do I do that? Well, I would need to lose 2.3 pounds per week. Okay, great. Can I do that? Is that manageable? Well, we've already shown that it is possible, so that's right on point. Now, what we would focus on now is how do I get the 2.3 pounds I need to lose this week to happen? Okay, so instead of looking at the goal as a large, massive goal, we look at micro goals to make it achievable, sustainable, and easier, right? Because we want to create and repeat wins. We don't want to feel unsuccessful. So if we set a large scale goal, we always feel unsuccessful until we reach over 60% of that goal, which takes a while. But instead, we chunk and micro down the goal to be something attainable, realistic, and workable. Then we focus on only what we need to do to achieve said outcome. So we take ourselves or distance ourselves from said specific goal. So again, I'm no longer focusing on the 20 pounds in 8 weeks. I'm focusing on how do I get 2.3 pounds this week? Or if I have to make up for last week, maybe I only lost 1 pound last week. So that would mean that I would have to lose, let's say 3.8 pounds, or let's round up to 4. So then I would look at it in the scale of what do I need to do to achieve the 4 pounds, okay? That then gives you the roadmap, the blueprint, the directions on the actions that you need to take. For instance, again, we're driving, right? And if I'm driving and I miss the turn, for instance, I missed the turn onto the freeway and I had my navigation going. My navigation would say, don't worry, Jeff, keep going for another half a mile, turn right on said street, and then merge onto the freeway. Well, what we do is we create the same effect by thinking small. Okay, and shifting our focus down. We focus on the actionable things that we can focus on in the now that will elicit the response and stack multiple results up to achieve the outcome. And again, this allows us to have flexibility inside of it, just like if we were driving and I miss a turn. It allows me to shift and pivot and correctly reassess the actions that I need to take now to still get to my destination. But if we constantly are only focusing on the goal itself versus the actions that we must take, we lose track of the goal because we no longer can achieve it because we're not doing the actions. And the only way to make something achievable is to take the steps and actions to that direction. So it's very, very easy overall, guys. It's about making things easier to digest. It's making things easier for you to hit and win and feel successful. And it makes it easier for you to actually see the tangible, physical, and mental things that you must do or shift on a daily, weekly, or even monthly basis to elicit the response versus focusing only on the goal. So you can think about the goal all day long. You could put a vision board of, whatever you want on the ground, right in front of you. You can do anything you want with the pictures, the videos, or just reminding yourself daily or weekly about that stuff. But at the end of the day, what gets you the result is taking the actions that give you the outcome. And we must focus on the actions, not the outcome. So once we've set the outcome, the goal, we then want to focus on the actions. And we want to think about the actions in mini clusters or chunks that are digestible and achievable to make it easy and operate in a way that makes us feel successful and gets us the results while building momentum in the right direction to achieve them. So that's it, guys. That's a very easy process on how you want to take your goals and then what you want to focus on after setting the goal. When you can do this, that's when results happen. But if you're constantly only thinking about the goal, only being like, I want to lose 20 pounds, I need to lose 20 pounds, I need to lose 20 pounds, you're never going to take the proper action because you're only thinking about the focus point. And when you're thinking about the focus point, you're unclear on what you need to do. Instead, micro it down, get clear, focus on those things, do the actions, and get the response that you want, which is a goal that you have and set for yourself. That's it, guys. If you want help achieving your goals, setting strategies and processes and plans that actually work to move you from point A to point B quickly, efficiently, and effectively, click the link below. Let's have a conversation. Let's see how we can work together to get you the results that you want while minimizing the output that you actually need to do, while maximizing your results, your accountability, your focus, your clarity, and all the things that are going to give you the results that you want in the time that you want it.